Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wake Up Wednesday. I am Debbie Chronister. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I am here today with a really fun card. We have some new online exclusives, which I've been playing with. Excuse me, I just need to get you straight here, I think. I think that's just as crooked as can be. Let's get this camera straight. There, that's better. So I've been playing with the new online exclusives, and one of them is called Greetings of the Season. And the other one is, I'm trying to get this camera adjusted still. Let's see if we can get this over here. Okay, a little bit more centered. Straighten out my camera. Sorry, guys. It's moving all over the place this morning. Okay. There. That's okay. That'll work. Okay. So, Greetings of the Season. The other one is Golden Greenery. And Golden Greenery has this suite has two beautiful packs of paper with them. And they are the Season of Gold, which is, let me just pull this out. I think I've shown you this before, but it's this gorgeous paper. There are so many pretty papers in here. Just, all kinds of different prints and all kind of Christmassy. There we go. That's all of them there, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay, and then the other side of these is gold. Is the gold and vanilla. Whoops, there's one more here. That's not. That one goes with that. Let's see. Let's see if I can find 6 of them that are the right ones. Okay, those two are the same. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, those are the back sides, and those are the front sides. And so they are just great. The dies that are in this set do actually cut out these images right here. And so not only is there this, but there's also a package of vellum. I'm on limited space today for some reason. And the vellum has, isn't that gorgeous? That, and then it has this sheet, which cuts, the dies cut these out. This white, I don't even know what to call it, distressed maybe, a distressed vellum. Got a little bit of a white in it. And those dies, the dies do cut out. They cut out these branches as well. So those, and that's all part of the suite. And so yesterday I did a class, and I thought I would just do the same card type and use this suite, parts of the suite, to create my card. So in my clubs this month, I am doing, this is where you'll find me, stampwithdeb.com. In my clubs this month, I am doing a never-ending card. So this is my Christmas never-ending card. So it starts out and uses some of those products. I'm going to show you how to make this card today. It opens in the middle at the top, opens this way, and then this way. So this video is going to be a little longer than usual, I'm sure, because we're going to start from the beginning. So, and we're going to make our card base first. So we're going to start with 2 sheets of 6x6 very vanilla. And I'm going to cut, or they're 8.5 by 11, and I'm going to cut them down to 6x6. Oops, that's my scoring blade. I love that they're both here because I'm going to use my scoring blade next. And 6x6. It's very important that you cut these pretty exact in order for them to work properly. Okay, then I'm going to end scoring 2. So I'm going to score this at 1.5. Get our cutting blade out of the way and score. Turn it around and score it again at 1.5. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Now, I did also do a 5¼ inch one. Maybe I'll do that next week and do something different on it. Oh, I have an idea. Yes, I will do that next week. Do the 5¼ inch, just so that you'll have the measurements of both. But if you go to my blog, you will find the measurements of both. Okay, it's on the instruction sheet. So let's set this aside. I don't think I'm going to need that anymore, but now I'm going to get my bone folder out and I'm going to burnish this, all of these score lines. And when I do that, I want to make sure that this is even at the top and bottom and that my papers are not overlapping. So you can see I am overlapping just a tiny bit. So I either need to work this out that way or I need to trim it off. I'm going to try working it out into the edge. Sometimes our score lines, when I use my scoreboard, the score lines are more flexible than using it on the paper trimmer. The paper trimmer gives me a really tiny, skinny line, and that's where it is. And the scoreboard gives you a little wider line because of the tool. Okay, so let's put this, and now this one's perfect. Figure that one out. I have no idea why. It's a little bit at the top. You don't want them to overlap in the middle. Okay, so I'm watching this middle line. And if it does, then you want to refold it or you want to trim it. All my measurements are for, that's not going to want to refold. I'm going to just take my tool here and there we go. I don't really want a gap, but I do want them to not overlap. Okay, now I need my paper trimmer once again, and I'm going to cut these in half. So I'm going to put this up here, and I'm just going to leave it folded over, and I'm going to cut it at 3 inches. So I'm cutting across my score lines. That is really the key to cutting it, no matter what size you're doing, is you're cutting across the score lines. So same thing here. I'm just going to cut at 3 inches. Just like that. Okay, now I'm done with that. Okay, now tear and tape is probably the best for this project. And I have a little roll right here. So I'm going to take 2 of these, and it doesn't matter which 2 because they are all the same size. And I am going to put tear and tape on the bottom here. And you could do it, turn it around and put it on the top. Okay, so it doesn't matter which way. You're just going to put tear and tape on 2 of these. And you're going to put it on each end. So it looks like that. 2 here, 2 here. Just reinforces what we're doing. Because that's the part of the card that's going to take the most wear and tear. So we want a good strong adhesive there. And enough of it. And let's do this one. And there we go. Now I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to burnish that because when I peel it up, I don't want the tape to come up. I want just the paper to come up. And that one as well. And I'm going to just need to pull those over. Okay, so now I am going to take and peel this one off. This is the top right corner. It's going to be my top right corner. Throw those in the trash. Okay, and I'm taking one of them that doesn't have tear and tape. Now these are exactly the same size, so it doesn't really matter too much. I am going to put my silicone mat underneath this so I can see real well where my edge is. And I have some little bits of glue hanging over, so I want to tuck those in. I got new glasses, but they just really don't seem to work very well for me. Okay, so we want this exact. We want to make sure it comes down straight on this edge and that it's correct. It should be perfectly squared there. Okay, so I've attached that to that top. Now I'm going to take the other one just like that. I'm going to peel this off on the left side. We're still working on the same one. And I'm going to put this. And I want to make sure it matches in that corner. That's the important part. And then to be sure it's not overlapping here, make sure it's coming exactly down straight on the side. And there we are. So before you press it down, make sure all your points are covered. So there's no overlap here. It's coming down straight on the side, so I can't see the one underneath it. And it's in that corner, snug in that corner. Okay, now we're going to peel these off. I'll use my take your pick tool. It's probably easier, but we'll just do it this way. I have no nails right now. They're all cut down. Okay, and so then I'm going to line this corner up, just matching the corner. And this one is looking like it's going to be too big. So we're going to have a solution for that. And I don't understand why it's too big. I cut them both at the same size. But we'll see. Maybe not. So I'm matching that corner. Just like that. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to match this corner. Just like that. It looks like it's okay. Okay. Alrighty. Looks like we're good to go. Now I'm going to open this up and I'm going to burnish all these folds just to be sure that the card will work right, and we're going to make sure it's working. So when you open the card, this is going to be your front. Open it up. There's your inside. These are going to fold over. Whoops. So I'm catching there. And this is going to fold over. Finish those. And then it's going to open up to the back. Okay, that is a never-ending card. Now that's how you make the card base. You could do this with any card and decorate. I mean, this is the card, and then you're just going to decorate it from here. Okay, so I'm going to show you I'm going to decorate this one, and I'm going to show you a few tips on it. Okay, so we want to make sure our first fold is this one, and that it's not this. It is this one. Okay, we're going front first. Looks like I am a little bit off there, but we'll see how that works. Let's see. These are catching a little bit. And you can always just trim a hair off of here if it's catching. Anywhere that it's catching, you can just take the paper trimmer and trim it off a little bit. Okay, so I have my little decorations here in little bags, and so we'll just start with number 1. So all these measurements will be on my blog, maybe not today. I have a meeting tonight that I haven't prepped for yet. And so I will be doing that when I finish my video. And so depending upon how that preparation goes, I'll decide whether or not I can get this on my blog today. But these are all going to be in a tutorial on my blog. So you'll be able to get these measurements. So I just did like an 1/8 of an inch, a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. And see, I put that one on that way, so we're going to go that way with this one. And we have 4 of these, and these are cut at, so this is 1 1/2, because that's where I scored it. So these are 1 3/8 by 2 7/8. I can tell you that one. I can probably tell you all the measurements. That one looks a little short for some reason to me. And that one. Okay, then I have these. These are Let's get this in here first. Okay, so this is going to go on. Where's my silicone mat? Move some of that stuff over. Okay, this is going to go on here. And this is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. The green is old olive. And the white is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. See, I've cut enough of these now that I got those measurements down. It's the one, the smaller one, the 8.5 by 5.5 paper, or the 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card. That's a little trickier. So I'm going to do the same thing here. And I'm a layers girl. I like my layers. And just attach that to this panel. Okay. Then I've cut with the, oh, I kept them out so I would remember what they were, but I didn't remember. Thoughtful Expressions dies. So that came from the Thoughtful, and that's old olive. I am stamping with Mossy Meadow. There is Mossy Meadow in here. So I am stamping with that to bring that color out. I'm stamping on glass, guys. So, and I just want to kind of make it so that those are at the top. And it doesn't really matter. It's circular. So anything that's circular like this, it wouldn't make any difference. I could just turn it to where it needed to be. Okay, and then I'm just going to attach those. Okay, well, I'll line that up though, so that it's lined up on the bottom one. Okay, and then I'm just going to attach that to the front of the card. And there's my Season's Greetings. This I have already die cut from the Designer Series paper, as well as this from the vellum. So we're going to just put a little bit of adhesive on the top of this and attach it right up here. And we'll put some adhesive on here. I'm not doing well with this adhesive today. I'm wondering if it's dried out a little bit. And just put that. I want it a little bit more this way, I think. So you want to watch. So you don't want to go above here. You don't want to go over this line. You want to stay within that boundary. Okay, and then I'm going to put on a bow. And this is a ribbon that's retired from Stampin' Up, but it's such a gorgeous cord. It's not even a ribbon, it's a cord. And it's so pretty. It just, and I have so much of it. So I'm using it up. But it's one of our old cords. I hope it comes back. That would be wonderful. I'm just going to attach that right there. I'm not too worried about this going over because it's going to move. And then I have these beautiful berries. These are cherry cobbler and pearl, which is kind of a clear berries. And they come just like that. They're already put together for your 3 berries. And I'm just going to attach those right there. And that is the first panel. Okay, now for the second panel, we're going to open our card this way. And this is where I'm going to work. So let me open my card so I can see what I did in there. And panel number 2 is right here. So to start with, I'm going to attach these 4 up here. These 4 little ones. So let's do that. Let's see if my glue is going to work for me today. It's kind of acting like it doesn't want to work. Oh, there it goes. I'm going to attach these 4 in the corners. some reason, they're all cut exactly the same size, but for some reason, this one didn't fit the other way. Isn't that funny? I just don't understand it. But every once in a while that happens. It's just like, okay, it's a square, right? But it doesn't fit. That's okay. We'll just turn it and it fit perfect. So, and I think when we cut, there's just a hairline sometimes of difference. And that is what makes it not right. Okay, now I have this piece here that was cut with the stylish shapes dies. And then I have a piece of gold. And so let's stamp our greeting on here. And this is the most wonderful time of the year. And I'm just going to go right in the center in Mossy Meadow. And then I'm going to attach it to my gold. When you glue on gold, you want to make sure that you don't put your glue too close to the edge, because if it flows out from under here, it makes an awful mess on gold, and you can't clean it off. Adhesive eraser doesn't work. So when you're using gold, you want to be careful. I think that's a little bit off. But it does let you adjust it a little bit. Oops. Okay, come on. Adhere. Okay, let's go ahead and start on the bottom. Almost like it's curling up. Okay, so down here I have die cut one of the white little stems here. And I'm just going to add some glue here, but I'm going to put it on with a glue dot, just because I want it to stay in place right away. And it has a tendency to take a little longer to dry on the vellum, the glue does. Oh, come on, glue dot. So we're going to attach this to our green here. I have extra papers, but that's going right on the green. Okay, and then I'm going to attach this leaf, which I cut out of the designer series paper. Let's attach that as well. I'm going to fold that back there so it doesn't show. And that's going to go right over top. Now, this little bow I cut from Wanted to Say. It's a stamp set, a die set that we have that I believe we still carry it. I believe it's still in the catalog. I think I saw it in there. And it's just a great little set. I'm going to trim this off just like that. And then I'm going to attach my bow with a glue dot. Whoops, not on there. Oh, come on. Okay. So that was just a perfect little bow to go on there. All right, and then this is going to go right on there. So let's put some adhesive on there. And attach it right there. Just leaving that little edge all the way around. Okay, now you see, if you look at the original, you see designer series paper in this area. That is actually in the next, goes in the next one. So we're done with this page. We're going to move on to the next page. If this really bothers you and you feel like you need to, I would say go ahead and put your designer series paper in at this time. But I'm going to flip this over because this is page 3. And I have mine packed that way because this is what I'm going to do on the third one. Oh, I forgot to get my die cut machine out. Okay, so guys, let me tell you what I'm going to do here. First of all, I'm going to attach this right into there. So let's do that. This is always a challenge to do without getting your head in it and getting it in the camera and getting it straight. But it is what it is, huh? Okay. So there is my main part. Let's attach these. So I have 4 of these little ones that I've cut. I'm gonna make them go this way. This is one that you can't rotate. So if they don't fit, you got to trim them. And isn't that beautiful on the other side? I think it's so pretty. Whoops. This one's going this way. And this one is going to go in the top left corner. So I have all my papers on now. And to me, this is super busy. So what I did is, out of this set, the greetings of the season, there are dies that coordinate with that. So these are the dies, and this one goes with it. And so I pulled that out and cut it, and it makes it look like a tag, which I could have left it as a tag, but I decided I wouldn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to go over to the machine, turn it over, and you can feel when it drops right in where it should be. And I'm just going to trim that off, just like that. So let me do that. So I want that end to be like the other end. So I have trimmed off this little bit. So you see my holes are fine on the sides, and this is what I cut off, was that little part that made it look like a tag. Okay, so now I have this one, which also came from that set, and it's going to go on here. And what we're going to do is we're going to stamp a greeting. So I'm going to stamp the Merry Christmas, and I'm going to do this one in red. And I want to go as far to the right here as I can. I'm going to test it first. Okay. And I'm going to get off of all this extra stuff. I like to stamp with my paper firmly on my glass top. And that way I know I get a nice clean image. Okay. Okay, now close that up before I put my hand in it. Okay, now I'm going to attach this together, just centering it on here. And then I'm going to take my paper trimmer and I'm going to cut it in half. So this is 2 and 3 1/4. 3 1/4, so half of 3 1/4, half of 3 is 1 1/2, and half of 1/4 is 1/8. So I'm going to go 1 5/8. And that's where I'm going to cut. Yes, it is going to cut through the greeting, if that's what you're wondering. But that's okay, because that's going to kind of make it cool. Okay. So now I'm going to come back and I'm going to attach this to the right side here. I'm not worried about where the edge of the paper is. I'm worried about where the edge of the cardstock is underneath. I want this even with the edge of my cardstock here, but not overlapping it. And just top and bottom, you want to watch those. Now I'm going to come in with this side, and I'm going to do the same thing, except this time I'm going to butt it up right against it so that it looks like it's one continuous word, and you'll be able to tell when your C is in the right place. because it will look like it says one word. And so when your card opens, you won't have anything hindering it. It will open, no problem. Just don't put it don't overlap it. Okay, so now I'm going to add my branch here. I need to turn my page here so I can see what I did. Yes, I added my branch. Oh, I should have added my branch before. Okay, because when I add my branch, I'm going to have to trim some of it off. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back here and put this in here like so. And I am going to trim it off. So I need to stay within the limits here. So this just needs a tiny trim. And this, oh, the top is fine. I didn't need to trim the top. But you know what? I'm going to trim it so that it stops right there. I want it to stop at the tag. So I'm going to add a little bit more here. Oh, I know where else I need to trim it is here. So I'm just going to trim that edge off right there. So it stops. I could glue this on the other side. I could glue that right there. Let's do it. It's perfect. It looks like it just carries over that way. Let's see, it's got to come. Whoops, we've got a little glue there. I got to get it so that it matches, right? It's close. Okay, there we go. And I think I want a little bit of adhesive on this one here because as you start folding and bending. Okay, now I also have these little dots. And so I put them in a row here. In order to do that, I took the piece that I had die cut them from because it's one die. And I took the piece that I die cut them from and I laid it on top and did that. This time, and that was a little tricky, gluing, because you have to use the glue. This time I decided I would use the glue dots and I would stagger them. Oh, but I want to, whoops, get that out of here. I want to close this up so that I can see what's on the other side. So this shows a little bit through the other side. It's okay. And I'm going to put 5 of them on each side. The problem with them here is that the glue dots are bigger than the little circles. And I didn't plan that out too well, did I? Yeah. My glue dots are bigger, so I'm not liking that. I have to squish them under. Let's see if I can do that before I put them down this time. So I'm just going to kind of, yeah, that doesn't work. Okay. So I would say use green glue or a glue adhesive to do this part instead of, and those are not evenly spaced at all. Let's move this little guy up if I can. You guys got the idea. That's all I wanted. And these little dots are like little bells, and they are in the greenery set. This one, the golden greenery set. Okay, so that just, and that might present a problem when we start flipping. I don't know. We'll see. So this one I did that way. This one, if you're like it really methodical, then do it this way and just use the die, the piece of paper, the negative of the die, the negative of the die, and just lay it on there and put it on. So I think I like that one better. Okay, so let's go on to page number 4. That's 3, and this is 4. So when you do this, always make sure that you work your way through, because if you don't, you'll find that you put things on upside down. So if you're confused, go back to your beginning and remember that your greeting is on the left. Your image is on the right, and just go through the process, opening it each time and popping it open. So because this, when you finish and you look at the back of the card, this is upside down. This ends up upside down. Okay. So for the last page, the bottom portion is for you to write your message on, but the top portion will decorate. So let's move those things out of the way. So I'm going to attach a piece of old olive, and this is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. And then I've stamped my greeting, and there is no die for this to cut it like this. But I thought it was great to have it cut like that. It just, to me, it was one of those things that was worth my time to cut it. It was really easy to cut. So I'm just going to attach that right there. I thought about a designer series paper on the sides here and decided that I have all these beautiful pieces. And these are the pieces along the edge of the designer series papers. Let me pull out my vellum here and show you what I did. So this is the part that we get and we go, oh, why in the world, Stampin' Up, did you print a half of a thing, or this one's cut off and that one's all cut off at the top here, So we have on every page there is, all these great ones in the middle, but on the edges they're not. They're portions. And I thought this is a perfect place to use those pieces that are just a portion of the designer series paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach these, and I want to stay inside my line here because this is going to be folding right here at times. So I'm going to trim this off just so that it matches. These two are the pieces that are going to go at the bottom for me to sign this card. I could just not put anything and just leave it, and that would indicate that's where you sign it because it's a blank spot. But it's always nice to have a little border around it, and so just following with the pattern. Okay, so let's get the rest of these in here. Ooh, I should have checked that first and seen which side I was using. Okay, we're going to go here. And this one, let's lay this out before I get too far. This one goes here, and this one goes here. Okay. Okay, and that is my card for today. So it's a beautiful Christmas card. It's one that's very special. I wouldn't make very many of these. It is very time consuming, but it wasn't too bad. Cutting it and everything takes time, but it's a beautiful card. I mean, just if there's someone special that you want to send a card to, this is the card that you may want to make. It's called the Never Ending Card. And like I said, I will put the instructions on my blog, and that's at stampwithdeb.com. So thank you for joining me today. So we're still in July, so I'm still doing the spend $50, and you get, first of all, you get bonus coupons from Stampin' Up to spend during August, but you also get to pick, for every $50, you get to pick 2 stamp sets out of my retired, 2 bundles out of my retired list. So if you are interested, you can always message me, and I will send you the list of what is left. And I mean, I have so many great things still left that you can get for free, basically. By placing a $50 order, you get 2 bundles from my retired list. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you next Wednesday right here on Facebook Live on Wake Up Wednesday. Bye-bye.